to do something, and I want it to be very interactive. It's the last conversation that we're all going to have. I am reliably informed by the DX5 executive that they will do this again and again and again because you guys have been so great today. You've been so curious. So let's not use this time to make them think twice. So here's a question for all of you. How many of you have land? Who's got land? No one has land. Land. Okay. How many of you have a house, not on that land, on a different piece of land, or an apartment, own, or are paying off a mortgage? 1, 2, 3. It's not an embarrassing thing, guys, by the way. I know that I'm from Zimbabwe. My dad spent 20 odd years paying off a mortgage. We had a big party when he finished paying it off. But when I got to Kenya, everyone says, I've got a mortgage. Don't talk about it. You know, people don't want to talk about the fact that they've borrowed money from a bank. And we're at a SACCO tech event, and not too many people have borrowed money for an apartment. It is very interesting. If there are any SACCO product people here, there's something going on there. Next question, how many of you have shares on the Nairobi Stock Exchange or any other stock exchange? Okay. So you guys understand diversification of your portfolio, all right? I have read through SASRA reports, and it is interesting that 95% or something close to that number of all SACCO investment is in land. 95% is in land. What is the appreciation year on year on land in Kenya? Does anyone know? You know, you guys know, like you're acting like you don't know, but you know. Say it out loud. Huh? This lady knows. By what percentage? Does anyone have a percentage? 5? Huh? 6%. This man actually knows his numbers. 6%, right? Does anyone know what you get from a savings account from a Tier 4 bank? What's the most you get? Huh? For what amount? 10 bob. A million bob. 2-3%. 2-3%. Land is growing at 6%. Cash is growing at 2 or 3%. Is anything growing at over 10%? Stock market people, how is the stock market growing? 2.5%. Shares in SACCOs are growing more than 10%. But can a SACCO put their shares in another SACCO? They can. A SACCO can be a member of a SACCO. I actually didn't know that. I've actually learned something new. I never knew that. So instead of taking your 90-odd% and putting it in below 5% earning, what else is growing in this market faster than SACCOs? Somebody said it. Startups. Investing in business. Now, my thesis for this afternoon that I will defend, and we can defend later in tea, is that I believe that SACCOs are actually losing money by not investing in small businesses. I'm going to call them small businesses, I'm not going to call them startups for a good reason. Right? Because who are the people starting these small businesses? SACCO members. How is it that the SACCO that has probably, and I haven't tracked this, so maybe there's some researchers in the house. I haven't tracked this, but I would bet, in my house we bet toothpicks. My kids don't have money. When they turn and they start working, we'll bet real money. I will bet a couple of toothpicks that some of the most talked about, and I'm going to talk about the technology ones first, startups, those founders are in SACCOs. What do you think, guys? Do you think the guy of Cellulant is in a SACCO? Yes or no? Do you think the guy of Market Force is in a SACCO? Do you think the guys who are part of Copia are in a SACCO? Even central bank staff are in SACCOs. People who are starting businesses that are worth 100, 200, 300 million shillings are your members. The value, and I'm going to touch on a controversial startup just now, but because I know one of the angel guys, and forgive me if there's a bad reaction, but it's a very good use case. Do you guys know these guys, they're putting billboards, they're called Kune, K-U-N-E, right? I know there was a hula baloo about what the founder said. One of my friends was one of the angel investors. He put in their $50,000 where just before he started, which is we'll use the old exchange rate, 5 million shillings. Do you think your SACCO could give 5 million shillings? Yes or no? Yes. He gave 5 million shillings in 18 months. 18 months. That 50,000 is worth $2 million. This is a startup that you are seeing. The founder started on Twitter. We all saw that. He raised his money. He's now got billboards here. And the value of that business has grown. What growth rate is that? From 50,000 to worth 2 million. What's that growth rate? Give me a percentage. A lot. Percentage. You were going to say? It's about what? Huh? Can you imagine your dividends if your SACCO is investing in startups, small businesses today? You're happy with 11%, but you're leaving money on the table. Your members are starting businesses, right? They're starting businesses, and these businesses are scaling at phenomenal levels because of foreign capital. Yeah? You have the capital. Yours is parked in land, 6%. You do the calculation? Let's call it 20%. It's a good number, 20. Yours is parked in land. Your 5 million is parked in land, 18 months, 6%. Your 5 million is parked in a startup, 20%. What we're missing, again, I'll go back to some of the things I talked about on stage here. What we're missing is talent within SACCO management to say, guys, we need to diversify the portfolio. And it's actually not that much. If every SACCO in the top 50 of SACCOs in Kenya invested 5 million in a small business by vote of the members. Because how many people, when he started 18 months ago, there were 2 of them. Now they're sitting at 100. I know Sirikali is a nice word. It rolls off the tongue very nicely. But do you understand how the SACCO movement can be a driver for growth in the economy, growth in small businesses? How do you do it? I hope you're asking yourself the question in your head, right? Is Nyasha, you're talking about things maybe that are above my pay grade. I'm not the CEO, or, I'm just the IT guy or something. But just like with digital transformation, when we talk about leading from the bottom up, this is the kind of things that we need to talk to. So, are you a member of a SACCO? Are you allowed to attend a general meeting? And therefore, that's where you start. You start off at the general meeting and you say, guys, I love that you've been giving us 11%, 12% every year. I think you could give us 25%. And everyone will say, how? And then you say, well, we need to invest in small businesses. And what I mean by that, and now I'm going to lean on some of my experience, is that when you say you're diversifying in business, one of the key things that you have to do is, 1, research. So as a member, don't show up at the annual general meeting and just say, Nyasha said, right? You've actually got to present the research, right? And this research is out there. How are small businesses growing in this market, especially in the technology sphere, but everywhere else they are growing, right? What are the key drivers? Where should you be investing, right? And so what you need to do is start off with an investment thesis, right? I'm sure most of you here have heard the word thesis and you understand what that means, is why are we investing in X and Y, and what does that mean for us? The nice thing about SACCOs for me is that they've got a natural investment thesis. Your natural investment thesis is why you formed the SACCO to begin with. If you're a teacher's SACCO, what should you be investing in? Education. Education. No, education. Education is very different from schools. You could have a startup that is building books, right? There's actually a startup I saw at Connected Kenya last week that is building the CBC curricula, right? So your investment thesis should follow your founding principles. If you're the police SACCO, security. Everybody knows it. Every member knows about security. It is your profession. Just follow the thread. And with that, you will find it much easier and easier and easier to start investing in small businesses to a point that in a year, 2 years' time, you guys will be telling us how you've gone from 11% to 20% in your dividends. So investment thesis, start with the research, investment thesis, please let it be aligned with the common founding principle, right? And then the last thing is to understand your members. Because that's where what we call in the investment, and even in sales, what we call the pipeline will come from. This is not a call for a SACCO to put, now we are looking for small businesses, please send in your applications. No, start with your members.